Hello, my name is Krista Evans-Heath, and I'm a candidate in the Instructional and Technology Education Specialist Program at Kennesaw State University. This capstone presentation will detail the research project and report I completed as part of my specialist program at Kennesaw State University. The title of my research was The Impact on Technology Use on Student Engagement and Achievement in a Social Studies Inspired Classroom, Comparison Study of Laptops and Apple iDevice. As technology becomes more and more a part of educational process, including instruction and learning, the question becomes what technology has the greatest impact on student engagement and learning. As schools and districts look to make purchases of technology devices, cost and impact of student learning becomes top criteria in their selection. As Apple iDevice has become the leader in these type of devices, when educational institutes are making purchase selections, they must compare the cost of these devices to traditional laptops, and which have a higher impact on student achievement and engagement. The purpose of my research was to determine if there's an impact on student engagement in the use of various types of technology in social studies classroom, especially does the use of an iDevice have higher student engagement than a laptop. The role of teachers in education is changing more and more. Teachers are challenged to design more personalized learning for students. Technology has increasingly become the mode for delivering of this personalized learning. The educational institutes must make the correct decisions in purchasing educational software and hardware. If students are not engaged in their learning, there can be an impact on student achievement. With schools moving to a one-to-one and blending learning environment, the correct technology tool must be selected. With invention and growth in the presence of Apple iDevice and their higher student engagement using these devices in comparison to the lower cost hardware devices. To ensure the use of technology meets the needs of students to improve student engagement, implementation of technology in our school must be meaningful, relevant, and strategic. In reviewing the literature, several key themes were reflected in the studies. The use of one-to-one technology in student learning had a greater impact on engagement and productivity than a higher ratio of student technology use. There is research on the use and the impact on student engagement in regards to specific devices such as netbooks and iTouches. However, with all the research on the use of technology on student engagement and achievement, there has not been a study published comparing one type of device to another. Affordability is a key factor in technology implementation in classrooms. As educational institutes make purchasing decisions, affordability many times becomes before student benefit. Determining if one type of hardware is key to student engagement would be an important factor. The participants were 38 7th grade social studies students in a suburban Title I classroom. The students were from all levels of learners, including gifted and students with disabilities. The data compared each student's achievement in two different topics of study. The data collected was primarily quantitative in nature. The participants took demographic survey to determine their use of technology. The students then completed lessons on two different topics using two different devices. At the beginning of each lesson, the students took pre-assessment to gauge their prior knowledge and Likert scale surveys to gauge student engagement. At the end of each lesson, the students took the same assessment to determine their engagement and did it have an impact on their using certain devices. Additionally, qualitative analysis was done on open-ended questions at the end of the lesson and researcher observations. In reviewing the data, the pre and post assessments were compared for each unit. Then I compared the results of student post assessments between the two units. The students studied imperialism in Africa using laptops and apartheid in South Africa using iPads. In comparing the impact on the device on student engagement, I reviewed the pre-activity device evaluation to the post-device Likert scale survey. I then compared the results of these surveys to the results between each device. In regards to student academic achievement, there was a real difference in which student scores increased on post-assessment on the topic of apartheid in South Africa using iDevice to complete their activities compared to the unit on imperialism in Africa using laptops to complete their activities. The difference in student scores could be due to the type of device or because the unit on imperialism is slightly more challenging than the unit on apartheid. In reviewing the results of student surveys and evaluation on their engagement in using the two different hardware devices, the pre and post activity surveys did not result in any significant change. This was the case in comparing both surveys of laptops and iDevice The results reflected no significant difference in student engagement in their learning whether they're using a laptop or an iDevice. At the end of each lesson, students completed a survey with open-ended responses. The students felt that using the device to learn, they were more focused and can learn at their own pace, and it was fun. What the students liked best about the device was the use of videos and not writing with the use of technology. But the theme was evident with the use of both iDevice and laptops. Students also mentioned being engaged with the outside world in their learning. The one thing that they would change about the device, the laptops at our school were old and very slow in booting up and in performance. The students did mention this, but did not impact their learning. They would still like having the technology rather than having none. Further study is needed with a larger sample size. Results do provide to school systems when making technology decisions and purchase that systems can make decisions based upon funding. The type of device does not have an impact on student achievement or engagement. Many school systems have leaned toward Apple iDevice based upon the results of this project. Laptops are just as sufficient. This can guide decisions in purchasing iDevices and iPads, which tend to be higher in cost than laptops, Chromebooks, and other tablets. I found this research project was more time-consuming than I originally thought. A lot of time went into literature research and review on the topic. I found not a lot of research had been taking place in the area of student engagement between technology device and a small amount on the impact of technology on student engagement in general. While the project did reflect students have a higher engagement in their learning while using technology, greater research and study will be needed to take place to determine if one device has a greater impact than another. Students are happier having their learning at their fingertips in general. The process of receiving approval for research was long and time-consuming, which can be frustrating even though there's no physical impact on the participants. Even at my school and district level, there was confusion on who needed to approve the study. The students and parents were very supportive of the work. The results of the study support my use of technology in student engagement and learning as we work to design and implement more personalized learning for our students. The results reflect a positive impact on student engagement in the use of technology in education. I hope to continue my study on the impact of technology in student learning in the future.